I was really impressed by this being your debut because your sense of humor really shines through. And even though it's family friendly, this is a film that, the whole family can enjoy. It's not just for kids. And it's kind of the type of movie we don't see as much in theaters anymore. So what made you want to go down this route?
Yeah, I think that was why. I think that well, first I was really inspired by my son, and he inspired the whole thing. Just spending time with him, creating a bond with him. During quarantine, I was at the house. There was no more touring, so I was chilling with the kids and seeing what they were interested in. And he wanted to be a YouTuber. He loved K-pop. I was learning about both in real time, and all I could do is kind of like always just pull from things that I know and from how I came up. And when it came to YouTube, I was like, well, man, this kind of reminds me of like when I was doing skits with my little sisters and like my big sisters, and we would just all day make little funny bits. Like we wanted to be like SNL or Live in Color, and we had a blast. And I used to edit those videos, and it took me back to the genesis of my little filmmaking starts. And I got to doing stuff like that with him, and I saw how naturally talented he was and how funny he was, and he could dance, sing, he could do everything, and um, he wasn't like try hard. He was just kicking it with his dad, and we were having fun. And then I saw how he was getting all into K-pop. My whole house was taken over at K-pop, and I was like, okay, well, this reminds me of like the older acts, like TLC, like Boys and Men, and SWV, all these things. I could see they're pulling from the well of black music from the 80s and 90s, and the producers and the sounds and stuff, and doing their own interpretation of it. And that's not a new thing. That, being a music nerd, we've seen people do interpretations of black music and American pop music from the time of the Beatles to the Rolling Stone. And, so there's something about when other people do it and they bring it over here, it becomes like a mania. And so I thought that was a similar thing with K-pop. And I knew it had been brewing for years because my household was always like obsessed with it. But I think it was kind of more of a Korea kind of thing. And then it exploded out here. But by the time it exploded, like they were already doing arenas out here and stuff. So I think people were like me, like finding out and having to get on board. So I thought that could be fun. Like, what if I made a movie like that where I didn't know I had a kid and he could be the next K-pop star, and I had the opportunity to teach him about his heritage, Black heritage. He had an opportunity to teach me about the Korean side, and I could provide like a bridge and show and do funny commentary and tell a unique story where I can, showcase both while also it being like a father and son film. So it was tough, man. I got my ass kicked because I was trying to tell this story, but also learning how to be a director of my first film, and writing a film and acting, and also being a dad on set, and working with my son. But if I had to do it again, I would. I can't wait to do more.
Yeah, you pulled it off, even though it was hard work. And I love the culture exchange element here. And you get one of the coolest scenes. You get the drum with Earth, Wind, and Fire, man. How special was that? Like
That
that's
was
any
huge.
musician's dream.
That was huge, man. Like the fact that they wanted to be involved, they're probably my favorite band of all time. And the fact that they were even down to be involved, we called up on a Zoom, and they were like, just tell us what this is about. And I told them what it's about, and they were like, you know what, we're in. We love the story. We love it's about family. Let's do it. And the whole scene was based off of a real life experience I had when I was a kid. Earth, Wind, and Fire was one of the first concerts that my mom took me to go see them, in Vegas at Caesar's Palace. And growing up, we knew all the songs because that's all my mom played. So we were like me and my little sister, these two little kids in the front row singing all the lyrics to the song. And they're like, who's these little kids? They know our music. And they were like, you know what, come up on stage. And I got to go on stage and dance with them. And I never forgot that. So when I was coming up with the script, I kind of wanted to put that in the film and figure out how to put that in. We got to do some improv with them, and it was amazing. It was like I was really nervous shooting that scene because I didn't have a lot of time, and I was dealing with like we were shot it at the Hard Rock Cafe, and I had a bunch of extras, and then I had the band and I had right there, and they were like, those are my idols, and I didn't want to piss them off, and I wanted everything to go smoothly. So um, and it did, and they were great, and they let me like we threw out some jokes and they were down to do it, and I got to play with them, which was like, wow, it was a big honor, and yeah, that was one of the big moments from the movie.
And your son Soul, he is just a charisma magnet. He's incredible in this
Yeah.
film. How was that set experience? Because I'm sure you want to make him cherish this, and it looks like he had a blast filming it. But you're also trying to, be on budget and be on time, and it is work. So how is it finding that right balance there? Because I'm sure
Man,
you just wanted to have a blast with your son.
and I did. And I had an ultimate good time. And shout out to my team, man. They helped me balance it out. I had the incredible DP, I had incredible production, wardrobe, makeup, hair, everybody. You know, they were on point with hi. They were on point with making sure that okay, we're gonna take care of this guy. He's his first movie, but we're gonna make sure he's good. We're gonna make sure his son's good. And I was really focused on making sure that my son was okay on set, that he was good with his lines, I was good with our lines, and it could be as natural as possible. And also, it was something that he could watch and not be like, "This is cringe. I hate it." I knew it was going to be like a capsule, and he was just like a baby when I started the idea, and he was going like it took so long. You know, we know how movies work from making the script and then finally shooting and then editing. So you know, he was like 8 years old when we thought of the idea, and by the time we were shooting, he was 11 and then going through puberty on set, and so he went from being like obsessed with K-pop to loving Slipknot. And so I was like, oh man, okay, well, okay, some things I have to pivot now and we got to figure it out. But he was with it. And, you know, there was a time where right before we shot, I had cold feet. Like I didn't know if I could pull this off. Like being on set 6 a.m., doing the script changes, acting, being a father on set, but also trying to make sure that we got our lines together, and then trying to do the music and dealing with the politics of K-pop and all the groups. I was like, I'm in over my head. Maybe I can't do this. And I was like, you know what? Let me ask my son if he still wants to do this, because at the end of the day, if he doesn't, like maybe that could be my out, because you know he deserves to be a kid at the end of the day. And I asked him, you know, you still want to do it? He's like, man, I better do it. Like I've been in acting classes for a year straight. You got me in choreo. Like I'm ready to do this. Are you ready to do this? I'm like, you know what? I am. Let's get it. We're gonna learn, and we're gonna start strong and finish strong, and we're gonna do it together. And it was amazing. It was I had to balance it out, but I think it was my team and just we got through it, man.
My last question for you. You're in the Michelle Gondry Pharrell film Golden, and was that a bummer to see that not get released? It sounded so cool from everything that I was hearing.
Yeah, man. I mean, just honestly though, it was such a miracle and a honor to be on set, to be able to be under Michel and work with him. He's a legend to me. He's done some of my favorite works, and just to be able to be on that cast and be on that set with those amazing actors, and just to see the set design, the outfits that Pharrell had us in. I had a blast, and I had just very little role, and then I was there, and I had a great time in the city in VA. And I learned just a lot, even from being on set, little as I did. I learned a lot from Michelle, and I was working on K-pops at the same time, and was telling him, and he gave me some great insight and pointers. And you know, I know it didn't come out, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to be on set, and you know, hopefully, maybe I'll change my mind and release it later or something. But you know, I'm grateful for the opportunity I had.